Because the more educated and more wired they are, the more over time, customers are using their products and their platforms. What we want to do is to make sure that everybody, even in the smallest village, has suddenly this library to the world and to the best educational opportunities, even if there's not a big university in that small town. And some of the learning that we can do, it doesn't have to be 4 years. Sometimes, a 6-week program could teach people coding in computers, and suddenly right away that person has a job. And then they can learn more and ultimately go and get a 4-year education. But oftentimes what you need is just that first step. And we're doing this in the United States, by the way. It's not just in Latin America. In the United States. One of the things that we're finding is that we need to expand computer science and literacy in the schools. We need to make sure, also, that we set up technical training systems where somebody who's unemployed in a city where there used to be a big factory but now the factory is closed, or because of automation and robots. Fewer people are working there, those people who have lost their jobs. They may not be able to afford to just go to a 4-year university, give them 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks of training. Get them in a job right now, and then over time they can learn even more. So, congratulations. You guys are doing good work. All right. Okay, so this is a team effort now. It's good to see this cooperation. Everybody is pointing at one person. All right. This gentleman right here, right in the front. Question, hello, Mr. President. I'm a student representative from this beautiful university with this gorgeous group. Of people. My name is Kai PH. And I'm going to give a little bit of context to my question. You see, the smartest man I know is my dad. My dad was born in Cuba. And when he was 7 years old, he went to the United States to get an opportunity. He lived all of his university life there, from community college to doctorate. And he managed to do a lot of things because the USA had an open, honest towards him. Today, many immigrants can bring innovation to the USA because it has still this open, honest policy. But the administration that is set to go after you is allegedly saying that it will have a closed-door policy. In your opinion, what do you think that today the stand of the USA is for offshore innovators that want to leave their comfort zone to the USA, to go to Harvard, MIT, Yale, to strive? And what would be the damages of the USA closing their doors to these young innovators? And a final remark, I hope you have 2 amazing last months of presidency. President Obama, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I know that your father is very proud that you said he's the smartest man you know. I hope that Malia and Sasha would say the same thing about their father. I don't know. but I'm sure that made him feel good. Look, America is a nation of immigrants. Those of you who visited America, if you walk in an American city, not just New York or Los Angeles, but St. Louis or Indianapolis or Columbus, Ohio, if you walk down the street, you see people that look like they could be from any place. Because the fact is that except for the Native American populations, everybody in America came from someplace else. All of us are immigrants. And that's been our greatest strength. Because we've been able to attract talent from everywhere. I use this as an example. You notice that the United States did really well in the Olympics. Now, some of that is because we're a big country, we're a wealthy country. So we have all these training facilities and we can do all kinds of best equipment. All that is true. But you know what? China is a bigger country and spends a lot of money also. The big advantage that America has, if you look at our team, actually, two big advantages. First, we passed something called Title IX many years ago that requires that women get the same opportunities in sports as men do. Right? Which teaches us something about the need to make sure that women and men, boys and girls, get the same opportunities. Because you do better when everybody has a chance, not just some. But the second thing, you look at AU. Olympic team, and there are all kinds of different sorts of people of all different shapes and sizes. And part of it is because we draw from a bigger genetic pool than anybody, right? We have people who, these little gymnasts, they're like this big. Simone Biles came by the White House. She's a tiny little thing. Amazing athlete. Then we have Michael Phelps, he's 6 feet 8 inches, and his shoulders are this big. And that's good for swimming. He couldn't do gymnastics, but he's a really good swimmer. The point is that when you have all this talent from all these different places, then you actually, as a team, do better. And that's been the great gift of America. Now, what we have to do, not just in the United States, but in all countries, is to find a way to have an open, smart immigration policy, but it has to be orderly and lawful. And I think that part of what's happened in the United States is that even though the amount of illegal immigration that is happening has actually gone down while I've been president, the perception is that it has just gone up. Partly this is because it used to be that immigrants primarily stayed in Texas and Arizona and New Mexico. Border countries, or in Florida. And now they're moving into parts of the country that aren't used to seeing immigrants. And it makes people concerned. Who are these people, and are they taking our jobs, and are they taking opportunity, and so forth. So my argument has been that no country can have completely open borders. Because if they did, then nationality and citizenship wouldn't mean anything. And obviously if we had completely open borders, then you would have tens of millions of people who would. Suddenly be coming into the United States, which, by the way, wouldn't necessarily be good for the countries where they live. Because in some places like in Africa, you have doctors and nurses and scientists and engineers who all try to leave. And then you have a brain drain and they're not developing their own countries. So you have to have some rules, but my hope is that those rules are set up in a way that continues. To invite talented young people to come in and contribute, and to make a good life for themselves. What we also, though, have to do is to invest in countries. That are sending migrants so that they can develop themselves. So you mentioned Cuba, for example, where your father fled. He left in part because they didn't feel that there was enough opportunity there. Part of the reason I said let's reopen our diplomatic relations with Cuba is to see if you can start encouraging greater opportunity and freedom in Cuba. Because if you have people who have been able to leave Cuba and do really well in the United States, that means they have enough talent that they should be able to do really well by staying at home in Cuba. There are enormously talented people here in Peru. I don't want all the young people in Peru to suddenly all go. I don't want you to feel as if you have to go to New York in order to be successful. You should be able to be successful right here in Lima, right? So this is true in the Americas, it's true in Europe. Where obviously they've been flooded and it's been very controversial with migrants, some of them displaced from war in Syria. But some of them just coming for economic reasons from Africa. I just left meetings with European leaders, and we discussed the fact that if we're investing more in development in those African countries, and encouraging greater rule of law and less corruption and more opportunity in those countries, then people are less likely to want to come to. Germany or Italy for their futures because they feel that they can make a future where they are. But this is an example of what I was saying earlier. If we think only about, in very narrow terms, about our borders and what's good for us, and ignore what's happening everywhere else, eventually it will have an impact on us whether we like it or not. Because the world is just much smaller than it used to be. Okay. Question: oh, my God, thank you for this amazing opportunity. More than a question, well, I have to introduce myself first, sorry. I'm Jennifer Shell, and I'm from Venezuela. We already talked a little about my country. But I just want to thank you for giving us the women's opportunity to make us feel empowered. I'm the CEO and founder of the Trabeja Mama, a social initiative that promotes values for mothers around the world. I'm a mother. I have a daughter, and it's a little bit hard to become an entrepreneur. And I know that you have been supporting woman empowerment. You support a candidate who was a woman, Hillary. You are supported by your wife, Michelle. And what is